Clark, Sophie Cunningham show support for Lexie Hull as Fever battle for playoff spot. With both Clark and Sophie Cunningham sidelined, the Indiana Fever are turning to Lexie Hull's talent to lead the team toward the WNBA Playoffs. The WNBA regular season is reaching its final chapter, and one of the standout teams has been the Indiana Fever. What makes this campaign remarkable is that much of it has been carried out without two of their biggest stars, Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Now, all eyes are on Lexie Hull and the rest of the squad to carry the torch. Hull's leadership in recent games has put her in constant physical battles on the court, even leading to a significant blow to the face during the August 25th matchup, where the Fever defeated the Seattle Storm 95-75. Despite this particular physical setback, Hull chose not to leave her teammates during this crucial stage of the season and decided to play through it. Through her official Instagram account, she shared several photos showing visible bruises on her face, a post that prompted an outpouring of support from her teammates. "Go Lex," Clark stated in the comments section. Amid a late-season injury crisis that has sidelined star Clark and key contributor Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever's playoff hopes have been bolstered by the impressive play of Lexie Hull. Stepping into a more prominent role, Hull has provided a much-needed spark on both ends of the floor. In her most recent performances, she has shown a significant uptick in scoring, including a 23-point explosion against the Minnesota Lynx on August 22. Hull's consistent shooting from beyond the arc, where she finished the 2024 season second in the WNBA at an impressive 47.1%, has been critical in stretching the floor for the shorthanded Fever. Her defensive grit and timely plays have also been a stabilizing force, making her an invaluable asset as the team fights to secure a postseason berth. The Indiana Fever are no strangers to pressure. For years, the franchise has lived in the shadows of its own legacy, chasing the echoes of championships past while trudging through rebuilds and resets. But this season feels different. It's not just about survival, it's about momentum, possibility, and finally giving a loyal fan base a reason to dream again. And in the middle of this Fever pitch stands Lexie Hull. Hull isn't always the name in the headlines. She doesn't rack up triple-doubles like Clark, nor is she the marquee face of the Fever like Aaliyah Boston. She isn't as loud or fiery as Sophie Cunningham. But what Hull brings is grit, hustle, and the kind of unsung leadership that rarely makes it onto highlight reels. When Hull found herself under scrutiny after a rough shooting stretch earlier in the season, fans and critics began to question her role. Whispers of inconsistency trailed her. But inside the locker room, there was no doubt. Clark and Sophie Cunningham made sure of that. Standing tall in support. Clark, the 6-foot sensation who has redefined expectations in her rookie year, has never shied away from using her platform for teammates. After a tough home game where Hull went 1-for-7 from the field, Clark sat beside her in the post-game press conference. Instead of dwelling on her own stat line, she redirected the spotlight. "Lexie does things for this team that don't always show up in the box score," Clark said. "She guards the toughest assignments, she dives on the floor, she communicates on defense. That's the stuff that wins playoff games. We need her." The comment might have seemed small in the moment, but it was everything. For Hull, who has battled doubts and injuries in her young career, the endorsement from the Fever's brightest star carried weight. It wasn't just teammate talk, it was validation. Then came Sophie Cunningham, the firebrand known for her competitive edge and swagger. Cunningham has only recently found her groove in Indiana after her transition from Phoenix, but her leadership has been instant. When asked about Hull during practice, she didn't hesitate. "People love to talk when shots aren't falling," Cunningham said, smirking. "But what they don't see is Lexie showing up early, staying late, and making sure this team has its energy. If you don't appreciate that, you don't know basketball. And I'll go to war with her every time." The battle for the playoffs. Support is more than words, it's about what happens when the lights come on. The Fever are in a dogfight for one of the final playoff spots, clawing against seasoned teams with deeper rosters. Every game feels like a coin toss, every possession magnified. This is where Hull matters most. She may not lead the team in points, but she's often tasked with defending the opponent's most dangerous wing. Against teams like the Connecticut Sun or New York Liberty, her assignments are relentless, chasing shooters off screens, contesting jumpers, absorbing physical play. Her presence frees up Clark to conserve energy for offense, and it gives Aaliyah Boston breathing room in the paint. In essence, Hull is a glue player, the kind every playoff-bound team needs. The human side of the story. What makes this subplot so compelling isn't just the X's and O's, it's the human connection. Clark, Cunningham, and Hull couldn't be more different in personality. Clark is poised and measured, Cunningham fiery and outspoken, Hull quiet and methodical. Yet in the Fever locker room, those differences have blended into a surprising chemistry. During practices, Cunningham can often be seen barking encouragement or trash talk at Hull, pushing her to dig deeper. Clark, meanwhile, serves as the steady voice, reminding Hull that every contribution matters, no matter how small. And Hull, in her quiet way, responds by playing harder, staying locked in, and letting her actions speak louder than words. The Fever's playoff push has become about more than wins and losses. It's about identity. Who are they when adversity strikes? Are they the team that collapses under the weight of expectation, or are they the group that pulls each other closer when the pressure rises? Fans take notice. Fever fans, who have ridden the roller coaster of hope and heartbreak for years, are starting to see the shift. Social media has lit up with clips of Clark and Cunningham lifting Hull, of Hull's hustle plays, of moments where the trio's connection shines. One viral video showed Hull diving for a loose ball, colliding with the scorer's table, and springing up to feed Clark for a transition three. Cunningham was the first to chest bump her, Clark the first to point at her as the crowd erupted. The caption read, "This is Fever basketball." Fans rallied around it. The message was clear. The Fever weren't just a one-woman show. They were becoming a team in the truest sense. The bigger picture. Whether Indiana clinches a playoff spot or falls just short, what's happening in this stretch run could define their future. Clark is already a generational talent. Boston is a cornerstone. Cunningham brings edge. And Hull, often overlooked, is proving her worth in the crucible of meaningful games. Support like this, public, genuine, unwavering, can change careers. Hull may not ever lead the league in scoring, but with Clark and Cunningham in her corner, she's finding her lane as the kind of role player who thrives when stakes are highest. Every dynasty in basketball has needed those players.